Hello people, Suffolk Sport Glide Rider here. In all my videos, please remember that I'm not a professional filmmaker or videographer or whatever you want to call it, and I'm not a professional mechanic either. I'm just surprised at some of the jobs that people take their bikes to garages to get done. I know there are some people that don't like to get their hands dirty, and I fully understand that. So in my series of videos, it's just to show how some simple jobs can be done at home, saving a bit of time and money, and the satisfaction that you've done it yourself. Thanks for watching.
Hello people, so what we're going to do today, we're going to be replacing the seat. So got to take the old seat off, then I'm replacing it with Sundowner seat so that it's got a bigger rear seat for the passengers, make it a little bit more comfortable, because the stock seat, it's only really designed for maybe an hour at the most on it. Fine for the rider, but the passenger no more than an hour, and they're going to not feel too comfortable, shall we say. So I'm going to replace this with the Harley-Davidson Sundowner seat. Many makes of seats out there, so shop around, find what you like, but I'll just do this video and tell you how the Sundowner seat is. One thing I will say, when you take the seat off, you've got to unscrew the screw here. You've then got a big metal tag here sticking out. Please cover it up, that metal tag. I've seen several videos on YouTube and people have scratched the crap out of their rear mudguard here and really ruined it. So you've got to wrap that. I've got some dusters here, I'll wrap round that, because you have to pull the seat back slightly to unclip from the front mounting. Then put a cloth in there as well so you don't scratch the tank, because the whole seat has then got to slide out, so you slide it out from the hand strap. So very careful of these mountings, please. Okay, so as I said, big screwdriver, because it's a big screw. And be bloody careful. Yeah, not too tight, thank heavens. There obviously will be a torque setting for this, and I will check that before we install the new seat. Screw out nice and carefully. Put that in the pocket. And carefully lift off the lug. As I said, get some dusters on there so that big metal plate isn't going to scratch the back of your mudguard. So lifting slightly and gently wiggle from the front, and just like that the front is clear. So now keeping our hand under there, or you can put a cloth under there to make sure it doesn't bash on the tank. Okay, it's plastic at the front here, so it's not too bad, but you can still end up with a bit of scratching on the paintwork. So move it as far forward as you can and just gently ease it out of that strap. Just like that. It's a plastic lug that goes in the front here. We don't take our seats off too often, but yeah, once or twice a year I say take it off, make sure it's all clean under there. You obviously do need to take it off if you want to get to the battery as well, which is a bit of a pain in the butt, but there we go. That's the way it's designed, so the battery's under there, under the side here. Not easy to get to, but can be done. The stock seat, take it off. As you can see, that big steel lug under there, that will scratch the crap out your back paint, so be careful. What I'm going to do, pop indoors now, and we'll put this against the Sundowner, and I'll do some measurements so I can see the difference in the size of the seats. Okay people, here we are in my kitchen. I've tried to position the seats roughly the sort of height they would be in the bike. You know, I'll prop the back end up so you can see roughly the shape of the seats. Although you've got a more defined backrest here, it's not actually pushing you forward. What it is, they brought that further back before putting the backrest for your lower back. Probably going to be good, I would think. So, roughly some measurements. The rider's seat on standard at the widest part is, call it 13 inches maybe.
and the Sundowner is 14.5. That's a gentle slope there, whereas, you know, this part of the seat is just as long. If I measure 13 inches there, 13 inches here, it doesn't even get as far back as the backrest. So in actual fact, if you are slightly longer in the leg, this does let you get a little bit further back from the front of the seat. So yeah, a higher bit of backrest there, whereas that is more gentle and sloping. I think this will be better for back support on longer runs. But the main reason for getting this was the passenger, because the standard passenger seat, the widest part, which is near the driver, near the rider, is only 7.5 inches. Well, near the rider here it's 10 inches, and the widest part of the seat is 12.5 inches. Depth is the same, 11 inches. That depth here is 12 inches. So yeah, slightly longer, definitely wider, definitely more padding on there. It's got to be better for the pillion, and I'm sure that the shape of this and the backrest here is going to be better for the rider as well. So hope that satisfies some of your curiosity as to how wide they were compared to the original. On the original, I was fine on the original as a rider, but on the passenger, after an hour sitting on that, it's quite narrow really. A bit like a lot of the Japanese sports bikes, it's not made for long distance, just a quick blast a mile down the road to the pub. So yeah, it feels nice and soft and comfy, just the same as the original did. So let's get out in the garage and see what we can do. Yeah, and one last bit on them, you can see that the Sundowner seat is more textured as opposed to the standard equipment, which is a dead smooth seat. Whether the texturing on this will help on long summer runs, you know, because it might get a little bit more air circulating around those bits that are getting a little bit sweaty. But from this angle you can see that the passenger seat is definitely a whole lot bigger than it is on the standard seat. And so yeah, you've got to keep your passengers happy, especially if they're going to be the ones making you dinner when you get to the camping site. And the other bit that we do need to do is to take off the grab rail, the passenger grab rail off the seat, because the new seat comes with a new one, and I'm sure it's got to be bigger than that because it's a lot fatter seat. So lining up the holes, yes, the new one is a lot bigger for the fatter seat. So let's just whip that off, and that is a 3/8 metric 3/8 AF socket. There obviously will be a torque setting for this as well, which I shall let you know when we put the new one back in. The other thing is, while you've got this off, it's an ideal opportunity to give this a quick wash and polish with all these bits out of the way. You'd think being under the seat it doesn't get dirty, but it does, because obviously being a monoshock design, you do have a gap between the rear mudguard and the edge of the shock, so there's got to be a certain amount of road dirt comes up there. So we'll give it a nice clean and polish while it's off out the way. Sort of thing you're only going to do a couple of times a year, take the seat off to clean it. And a finger tight. And like on the rear, it is a captive nut in there, so you haven't got to worry about getting your hand underneath to retain that nut. So we take that off, save that to put on the new strap, but in the meantime I'll give that a quick wash and polish, and you don't need to bother watching that bit, I'm sure you know how to wash and polish a bit of bike. Okay, so a little bit of the wash and a polish. Good job I didn't bother recording because the neighbour popped round to have a chat as well. Anyway, so installing the new strap.
And take our original bolt. It comes pre-cut with 2 holes in it, so that should be the right fit when we get it on there. Obviously there's an inside and an outside to this, so just make sure you get that the right way around. And I'm going to put a little touch of Loctite on that, because once it's in we want it to stay in. You know, you're not going to be taking off this this strap every time you clean the bike. Okay, a little dab of blue Loctite on it. As we say, once it's on, it's going to be staying on there, it's not coming off again. Now I've checked the workshop manual, and the torque setting for this one is 60 to 90 inch-pounds. So we will go for the 85 inch-pounds, I suppose. Stand in daylight so I can see. There we are, 85 inch-pounds. You think there's still got a fair way to go on that thread yet. Make sure it's lined up nice and straight across the bike. Feel it starting to tighten up. There it is there, 85 inch-pounds. Okay, same rules as before. Even with the new seat, watch out for the metal catch on the back here. I mean, luckily the new seat does come with a big lump of foam, but I'm still going to wrap my couple of dusters around it in a minute. So what we need to do first is slide the seat in through the grab rail, or the grab strap is the correct term, isn't it? Other duster over the tank, make sure we don't bash that about at all. Being nice and new, it's a bit slippery, so grab an hold with your hand to make sure that that metal bar has got no chance of scratching the paintwork, and it'll just be a lot of jiggery pokery and wiggling to get that strap to slide in there. And there we go, in real time there it is. Just slide me dusters under there as well, just to make sure. Right, so we need to slide it back a bit so we can get the front catch under the seat. The front catch under its bar, I should say. You can almost feel when it's there. There it is. It's a matter of wiggling it on and pulling the front of the seat up to get it over that. Takes a bit of wiggling to get that over the edge of the strap. Another reason for making sure you're covered on the back there, right?
it is a very firm seat. There we go, almost there, and I think with a, once you sit on it, that's going to slide in. Let's see how we are on the nut at the back. Right, so let's unscrew this. Carefully put it into place. So they do call this a thumb screw, although it does have a slot in it. So I checked the workshop manual and it does say this should be done up to 15 to 30 inch pounds, which is not a lot at all, which is why they also call it a thumb screw. But lo and behold, I've got it set 25 inch pounds. There it is there already, 25 inch pounds. So, lovely looking seat, nicely secured at the back like I said, looks good. As I say, it was a bit of a push to get the seat up to cover the screw at the front there, but it's almost there, and I'm sure once I sit on it and ride around for a little bit, that's going to pop right over at the front. But all in all, pretty good looking seat I think, and I'm sure any passenger that sits on there is going to be quite happy with that for the long journeys. So let's get it off the stand and see how it feels. Yeah, feels good. Definitely feel your backside cuddled a bit more, and that coming to well past the base of your spine and everything. That's nicely fit, snug fit. Yeah, very nice. And yeah, you can feel the wider pillion. I'm sure that you're going to be more than happy with that. And as I said about the front end of the seat, once sat on it, it has all squeezed itself into place, so fits nicely how it should fit. Marvellous. Yeah, job's a good one. Thanks for watching people, hope it's of some help, and catch you all soon.